Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 41 of the Forsaken Council. And today we have had probably the biggest update in BP this year. Is it safe to say that, or is that maybe a push far? I think I would say it's probably the biggest. Yeah, so it's a bit crazy. There's a lot going on, a lot of good stuff, and you know, it's kind of it was a surprise as well, which was great. I don't think anyone really knew this was coming. It wasn't like it was sort of posted and said, look, this is coming soon. So it was kind of sprung on people in a sense. I think people knew it was coming, but didn't know when. So it was quite good to see that. And of course, I am joined by the wonderful GD Raikan, and I spell his name right now, which is great. Yeah, so welcome to the show, buddy, and I'm glad to have you on. GD is going to be on tonight just to, you know, generally, there's a lot going on. There's a lot coming out, and Raikan's going to help us discuss that and maybe fill in some blanks for us. So appreciate that from Kixeye. As you can see, we have got a huge panel tonight. I think everyone's here except for Lucy, who is sleeping. But yeah, so we're going to try and do our best to do this update justice. But we've got a lot of slides to get through, so I'm not going to whittle on and talk a little rubbish as normal. And I'm going to lead straight into Mark, who's going to go into some slides.
Okay, good evening all, and welcome. Okay, well, and welcome GDR. Thanks for turning up. Right, Andrew, have you shared him, Liam?
I'm locked on to Mr. Andrew.
Super, thank you. Okay, so slide pack contents. You can see there, we were focusing clearly on the Outpost 9 update, and thanks, I'd say, to Ren, who over the weekend got a little bit of early info and produced a video which has been fired up on the page and on the forum as well. So that's explaining the basics of it. And what we'll do tonight is we'll go through the complex issues in some areas, not all areas, and we'll really focus on it, obviously, on this coming open mic this coming Saturday. Good. So there we go. You can see the list. So over to GDR straight away. Then we've got some news for you.
Yep. So wanted to confirm, because I know these guys have asked me, and I know a lot of people have been asking. So I'm going to confirm that January raid cycle is going to be Siege. Okay, so Siege class hulls is what you want to use. There'll be Siege targets, so it'll be like the drag fighting base in that spirit of. So.
Okay, that's super news.
And I heard the backstory is that Greta and Zoe got married, so the targets will be a mix of Legion and Draconian. Right?
Fan fiction.
Yeah, are you sure this wasn't fan fiction?
I just want to say, George, you know the next chapter of your book? That would be interesting.
I'm not touching that one.
Bet you wish you could.
Oh,
but anyway,
Oh. 5 minutes in.
Next slide, please.
Right, this is the video of Outpost 9.
Quiet in the background. So I think we can see if we said this goes on for a minute and a half. It's quite good. So there's interesting points there. That's the key point first, okay? So one thing we can talk about that turret there, particularly in a moment, is that the water-based turret, okay, which we'll cover in a second, has a key feature that's a little bit unusual, and it can be attacked by unusual ships compared to the norm. We've all got our favourites. I love Scourge. I like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, the Scourge looks are great.
Yeah, I might just do it for the funkiness of it. I like it.
I like the Reaver.
I like the Draconian just for the land tiles.
Yeah, and I gotta say, we need an extra faction now that gives us concussive bonuses, right? We have some cool concussive turrets.
Raikan, why are you laughing? You know something.
No, I just thought it was funny you wanted another faction, that's all.
No, I want a bonus for concussive turrets.
I know what you really want, but yeah.
Okay, so let's look along then. So if you haven't already had a quick flick through some of the, particularly had a quick look at Ren's earlier video, which basically covered the basic topics, you'll note then that obviously now we've got the factions. Though, so we've known the faction leads for some time, and then there they are. They're all 5 of them. Okay, clearly then, once you've upgraded your OP to OP level 9, then you select your faction, okay, then for the calendar month from that date forward. You've attained that faction for the month, and it's free then to change it for the following month. Bear in mind, you need to change your factions based on the turrets that are basically in your base. Each one has a 20% bonus across the board for the relevant type of faction. Okay, and if you clearly want to change your faction during that 30-day period or 31-day period, however, 30 days GDR or 31 days, or does it really matter? It's just a calendar month, is it?
Yeah, it's just that it's the calendar month. So.
Okie dokie. So, and then as Andrew's quite highlighted down there, depending on where you're in the world, it's either going to cost you dollars, pounds, euros, or something else. But it's going to cost you. So bear that in mind. So one free change a month.
So one free change a month. But if, for example, I wanted to change after a week, I mean, do we have any idea on the cost value of that yet?
Ka-ching.
Not out?
Do it.
Wait, you want the cost of... So after you do it for the free, you want the initial cost?
Well, no, what is the cost to change? Yeah, I mean, what is...
Yeah. So after free, it's 150 gold for the first time to switch, and then it'll double thereafter each subsequent time within the same month.
I got you.
Ooh, shan't be doing that one then.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay, so here's the first three. Obviously, the Draconian, the Forsaken, and the Legion. Each one, I could say there then. So explosive bonus of 20%, ballistic of 20%, and penetrative had to be Zoe for 20%. Okay. Come on then. Of the first three, we'll go first. Then George, which one are you preferring out of these three?
I like the Draconians just for some of the stuff that I have planned. The other two, I mean, I like all the artwork on all of it. But again, it's one of those. Just like you said, you have to have this plan to what you have in your base. So.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on. Give it.
I was just going to say. I think they're interested in the fact that, like, say for example, your base is weak to something. Say for example, you're stopping everything, but you keep getting rolled by this fleet. Then you can pick the faction that's going to favour you, that ship's weak to. You know, and I think that strategy element is really going to benefit. But also, players always talk about this whole flavour of the month kind of thing. When a baser comes out at the end of each month, and it might be a ballistic hull, and the next month it might be a missile hull. You know, so everyone's running around with those ballistic ships. So you know that, and say for example that ship's weak to this. So every raid when the new toy comes out, you look at what that toy's weak to, and you pick the right faction, and that's you sorted. You know. I think that a bit of that's going to come into it as well. You know?
So I honestly think then... Yeah, go on, Julia, sorry.
Oh, just to be clear, this is buffing your existing damage type, so it's not like if you have a maximum turret and then you pick Legion, that somehow it's also doing penetrative damage, right? You would need, like, missiles that would get buffed, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah, so like if you had a load of Deadeyes, then the Legion's going to be great for you, whereas if you're running a ton of APOCs, then maybe Draconian.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ren, I know you've done a bit of preview on this over the weekend. What's your thoughts, mate?
I like it, and I like there's not any sort of penalty. Like if you remember when we picked factions in a couple raids ago, you would gain an attack bonus, but you would have like a defense penalty, right? This time there is no penalty. I think, for instance, for my base is most Deadeye executioners in the turret in the central island. So Legion would be the faction, functionally speaking, that I would pick. But with the new mortar, maybe Draconian becomes interesting too. It's just like unless you have a lot of ballistas, like I think Raikan has a lot of ballistas in his base, and Forsaken would make a lot of sense.
Why did you mention that name?
I've seen that base. Is that base just the base that's got like 20 ballistas?
Yeah, his base has a bunch of ballistas in there.
I think that one. Yeah.
Now I have a question, Raikan, for you. Well, there are some turrets like the Javelin. The Javelin has a secondary penetrative damage type. Would Legion buff that too?
It'll buff, yeah. So if the particular turret has the associated damage type in any capacity baked into it initially, then it'll gain that benefit for that particular damage type.
Right. So picking Reavers would buff the radioactive damage of an APOC mortar and so
Correct.
on. Okay, that's good to know.
And is it a stackable buff? Is it, say for example, you've got a turret that's got a transformer and has been buffed off the OP and buffed off this, and its maximum damage is, let's just throw it out there and say it's 20. Let's just say it's 20k damage. Will this instantly buff it to 24k damage?
It'll buff off the base, won't it?
Yeah, it's multiplicative, right? Like the same as all the others.
Okay.
Okay.
So my piece of advice is quite simple then. If you are planning ahead and you see a new turret coming out, obviously think about when these things will either come out. They'll either come out during raid time or they'll come out during the refresh of obviously the FM. Obviously, we know when the extra prizes go in the FN, and we also know when the raid prizes come out. So you may want to hold off doing your OP until maybe a couple of days after one of those refreshes is due, because what you want to do is try and save yourself a little bit of coinage and spend it on your mega ship or spend it on your turrets or spend it on something else. And you don't want to be spending it on changing factions. So just bear that in mind. Good. So here we have the last two anyway. So moving on. So his Reaver and his the Scourge. Okay, I think the Scourge one's funky as hell. I like it, I must admit. But then again, the Reaver tiles look cool. So I have to say, hats off to the artwork team. It's amazing stuff. I'm really, really impressed. So yeah, good news. So Brian, seen all 5 now. Thoughts, mate, for you?
Well, yeah, it really does depend on which ones you have. Personally, I picked Forsaken, but that's because I still have a lot of old Javelins and the base isn't really all set up yet. So maybe once I get some more upgrades of turrets, etc., done for Shadowing, I'll be able to make a more strategic choice. And then there's the whole swapping based on things like the big explosive mortar. But God, these look cool. They look so cool, all of them.
This is one of those moments where everyone's going, wow. It's quite funny, isn't it? Quite like it.
I'm loving the Scourge.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's not right for my turret system, so I'm not going to pick it, but it's the one I'd choose to if I just went for graphics only. Quite like it. It's good. Okay, next slide.
I almost wish the Scourge gave like concussive bonus instead of, or maybe 10% concussive, 10 corrosive. But now I'm nitpicking.
Are you still going on about that concussive?
Yeah, we know why.
Can I just ask one little question though, to you, Raikan, if that's okay? Is this faction feature and the benefits offered? Is that something that perhaps you're looking to expand on in the future, or is it something that's set in stone, i.e., the buffs given?
So the buffs given, we're happy with at the moment. Whether or not we expand on the concept of you being a particular faction is something we're exploring. I'm not going to commit to anything at this time, but we're exploring what that kind of does for the game and how it expands the game, and looking into it.
Yeah, read the comment at the bottom of your splash screen there. Okay. You don't shoot the messenger. All right, that's good. Okay, so here we go then. Next slide then. We're looking at the upgrades for base defense then. As you can see then, so defense, as it says then, 2 extra turrets, so we're up to 22. I've not built my last 2 from 18 to 20 yet. 500 wall, which is good news. We get 5 land tiles, which is confirmed. The turrets obviously can go up to level 9, which is excellent. And we get this new transformer. So this is the transformer that basically doesn't mean, it means that we don't have to actually place it on a land tile. We can place it on a water template tile instead, so i.e. on the water itself. Okay,
right, you're going to have to select me because it's shown. That's it.
You're on. Yeah, good. Okay. So just want to clarify the situation with the turret that can move onto the open sea. Raikan, if you wouldn't mind, mate.
What's up?
Yeah, I was just going to say a clarification basically of the situation with the turret that can obviously doesn't have to be sighted to a land tile. Just clarify what can hit it and what can't hit it.
Oh, so the if you put the water transformer basically onto the turret and you place it in the water, it's vulnerable in the same sense that any other water structure would be vulnerable to, right? So think of it like an oil rig, right? So a sub could technically kill an oil rig. So in the same way, a sub could kill the turret that's equipped on this in the water, right? But at the same time, you get a bunch of advantages depending on how you design your base, and it sort of opens up base defense opportunities. So trade-offs, right?
Yeah, so I can see obviously a bit of a base design 101 coming from Ren in a few weeks' time. Definitely once we get that one squared away. And just to clarify then that it doesn't have any aura, it doesn't have any effect as standard. It won't detect a sub just because you happen to sit it in the middle of your dock channel.
No, it doesn't have thermal or anything. Just can be placed on the water.
Okay. All right, then. So, Stu, that answers your question, I think, earlier on.
Now, the cool possibility there is that you can start putting turrets in between your guard ships, behind walls and whatnot. And, you know, it opens up and have more free land to put transformers on buildings and that kind of stuff that are powering water-based turrets. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can be done now. With that, plus the bigger footprint and everything we'll talk about, extra turrets, extra land. I mean, I'm really excited about the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the possibility of putting countermeasure turrets near ships, or even, in some base designs, it's a method still used when you have to maybe put a lot of wall in front of the turret. So you'd double stack land and then have like 5 walls and then a turret on a land square behind it. Whereas now you can potentially sit that turret in the water and have 1 row of land in front of it with 5 rows of walls, and then free up yourself maybe even 5 or 6 land squares just by a simple design change. So it really does strategically, it opens up so much more options for your base.
For me, I think the best point is that actually it makes your base bubble. We all know about the base bubble concept, the 25% that sort of stuff, which I take it that percentage hasn't changed, but it makes then fine-tuning your base bubble really, really simple. Because you can have a couple of these, as you're doing something else, you can quickly just whip it from the back to the front and then take it back again. That stuff. It's just a case of placing it. You haven't got to do any upgrades. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, remember that concussive turret that has like 250 something range? Imagine that sat on this turret, and you have them actually on the outside of your base, 4 of them spaced around your base, right? So maybe if someone wants to come into your base, they're going to be under constant fire of these. If someone
that's easily
your damage percentage. You bring your bubble percentage.
Yeah.
You make them level 8. That's your damage percentage right there. So they got the option of taking those 4 out, but then bringing you to 25%, or taking a couple out and trying to run in.
Well, tactics and stuff like that, one we will cover definitely on the Saturday show, because we'll have a bit more time to think about it and assimilate everything that's been given across there, because it does add dimensions. That's all I can say, without a doubt. It's an interesting. It's interesting how such a small thing can make such a difference to the whole concept. So, good news. Okay, so the only bit I don't like is I don't know if there's a slide on it, which I think there might be, but the walls cost upgrade. I hate doing walls. I detest doing walls. And if you ever think I'm going to press that do all walls button that costs you like gazillion amount of coins, that's never happening. So you really just take it away. I don't know anybody that's done that unless they don't make a mistake. So it's nearly 13 million ZIMF, guys. Okay, just bear that in mind. So consider yourself chored for the next, eon, whatever that's going to be.
13 billion.
It's 13 ridiculous amounts, isn't it? So whatever.
And
it is.
I think even if you fill up with Z, you can do at most, I think it's 22, 25 walls, and you're going to be empty. So I mean, get ready for the big Zinthionite recession of 2016, 2017. Yeah, so there's no more. It's going to be ugly.
We're getting another 100 wall squares as well, are we not? So.
Yeah. So I think the answer to it is think about your process. I mean, we'll probably talk about it later on again as well. Everything's going to be later, isn't it? But decide what you're upgrading in obviously in a cyclic order, so it makes sense. Like if you're going to be using lots of this stuff to do the walls, maybe leave the walls to last, and then do things like warehouses first and that sort of stuff, and then you can store more, and then obviously you haven't got to keep flipping going and topping up every 5 seconds, which is goddamn annoying. Anyway,
I gave up upgrading my walls because they take too fucking long to upgrade. There should be a better way rather than selecting a whole load and coin it.
Is this the time? Someone just said trying to insert. Sometimes they said insert the Trump wall joke.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge, man.
It's going to be huge.
And we're going to make your attacker pay for it, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's paying for it. Is that right?
So it's going to be fun hitting bases and coming out of bases at 500%, but 0 Zinthio. Right?
Okay. So with a quick internal yay in our chat, who wants to talk about this slide anymore? If not, we'll move on.
Me. For walls.
Okay.
What I'm doing, my walls are level 6, but I'm still chunking them up to level 8 really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So get some Punishers, and I have a couple of Vendettas. It doesn't really matter. You just need them for cargo capacity. Some well-fitted Vendettas against Radioactive. Do Snowfall level 1. Quit out. Go back. If your defenses are strong enough, you'll have 25 million of each resource with instant repair on your ships. Instant repair, go back out. Rinse, repeat. There's the Dragon Slayer's crew. Is that what it's called? For 100% more Zinth if you like. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Stu, what about you,
so
mate?
Brian, if you're going to be doing that, can you please give me your base chords?
No, I'm pretty sure you can do this trick at home all by yourself.
No, he's
No,
not
because
about stealing.
my campaign's done. I can't go back.
Exactly.
back
So you should have saved one anyway. So Stu, go on, mate.
Oh.
So the way I usually collect uranium is with my Apollos, and every time I do it, I get 500% resource. So I'll actually use that as an excuse to keep rolling for grease monkeys, which I'll never get, which means I'll constantly collect resource.
A lot of the guys in my
I
sector.
have a plan.
Yeah, a lot of guys in my sector go out and prep uranium for people, and then just actually finish them off and just leave them because they just want the resource instead.
Stu, what you should do is take your Apollos and autopilot 91 holes, mega holes, and then you can get your Hyperion parts as well as resources at the same time.
Okay, moving on. Next slide. Okay, as it says then, so whereas it's level 15, okay then, and the increase is phenomenal yet again, and it's a 5k increase on each one for uranium, which is nice to see. And yeah, you can. I mean, there are other things you can do. Things you can read the slides yourself. So, advanced lab, okay, just for a change, we're actually going up in the advanced lab level. So that one's going to go up to level 12, but obviously you clearly need outpost level 9 first. There's a reason for that because obviously it lets you research the floating sort of like, well, it's not the floating, but it's a transformer for the water-based turret. Okay, I won't say floating because that would then confuse people because they're going to say, do you know what? Well, why is my sub hitting it if it's floating? It's not. It's in the water. Okay, so it lets it route itself to the sea. We know dock level 13. That's a good upgrade. I thought that was quite a reasonably priced upgrade. And the fix time's quite decent considering. I was impressed with that. Shipyard, what do you recommend? Level 4 shipyard. Okay, then it adds, what is it? Is it about 7k into total weight for all up for ships for your fleet? Approximately, is it? Was it from 3710?
Yeah, 7600.
Yeah, so it brings everything down, doesn't it? Because it adds, obviously, you've got 15% weight saving for Forsaken and the 9% obviously with Draconium, which we get that, but obviously now 15% obviously on Reaver as well. So add that with your dock. Okay, you can start doing some crazy builds. But as Ren pointed out in his video as well, a lot of the PvP holes are limited to approximately about 10k in weight anyway. So
which works nicely. I mean, if you look at many Conquerors, they're like 9,000 tons. So times 5, that's exactly 45. So you can actually fill them up to the brim now if you want.
I have to say,
fit 5 in the fleet.
I was sort of doing that. I've been doing that for about the last month. I've been doing like fleets that have been overweight by about 15%. In preparation, I guess this sort of thing was coming soon, so I've only been putting like 3s and 4s in the fleet as opposed to 4s and 5s.
Can I Can I ask you, Raikan, did you guys did you play around with a lot of different weights before you really made your mind up on where you wanted to go with it?
Yeah, we did, and a lot of it too is like forward planning for future, like when we escalate to tier 6, how much we want that power to exist in and what the differential is between your current ships and what tier 6 ships have to offer, and that has probably a bigger implication than it does like with the existing ones per se. So that's usually where our thought process is for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that. I mean, I just I wanted to highlight that you guys don't just sometimes fry out random figures. It's always tested, which is what many people think sometimes.
Okay, Stu's got a question, but just before we go into that, what I want to say is quickly, guys, we are watching chat as well, so if you've got any questions as well, please fire them up in the chat there, and obviously we'll bring them across to the main program. Right? So, Stu, go on, mate.
I don't have a question, more of a statement, but I don't know about anyone else, but anyone that's using like 2 gammas and stuff in their base guard, this must be a lifesaver, with the new dock level on that. Because I've been running out of dock weight on my base guard for so long now. It's so hard to make little adjustments and refits without having to refit something else to get it all to fit together. This extra weight, that's actually saved my bacon.
That's a good point, actually. Brian, you had a point, mate.
Yeah, a lot of people are building 4 strong ships and a blank lead, blank Omega Behemoth, let's say, with Punishers, or maybe a blank Harlock Centurion with your Centurions if you're a filthy coiner. But with this, you can actually make those ships. You can outfit them basically as much as you would normally outfit the rest of your ships. It's now more limited by the weight of the individual hull than it is by your total dock weight. You might have to Punishers, you might have to move things down a bit, but that's okay. And for the shipyard, there's not a whole lot that we use right now that uses Reaver tech. What I saw looking through real quick was the Earthshaker cannon. Reaver armor, but nobody really uses that. But the Fire Twister torpedo is a pretty relevant one. So if you use a lot of fire twisters and really want that, then you can go for the shipyard. If not, you might not need it so much.
Cool. Okay. All right then. Next slide, Andrew, please. Okay, so this is Liam. Do you want to go expand on this one, mate? Because I know you're really keen on this fact that that the guys are basically going to get a nice sort of, like we've always been saying for the lower players, that actually to get into the game and get into the game quickly, they need to have some assistance, and this absolutely does it for them.
Yeah, I personally feel that, like, and I've actually said this to Raikan earlier today, that I think that this is the best part of the entire update. And it doesn't benefit me in any way at all, but to allow players to use base parts to bring themselves up to speed, not only is that going to give the lower levels some encouragement and give them the ability to move forward in their game, but it's also going to make the game a lot better for people coming into the game as a new player. Yeah, I mean, by far, I don't understand. It seems too good to be true. Like, I don't understand how you guys, like, I don't know who convinced who, but it's the best thing you guys have done. Probably, in my opinion, the best thing you've done this year.
Cool. Yeah, I know we had a lot of thoughts around this, and it was something that I was discussing with our team and trying to figure out if it made sense. And I'm happy to see that we were able to not only reduce the repair times, which I guess we can talk about, but reduce the times, or the build times. But we could provide it so that you could use base parts for anything outpost 8 or below. So super stoked, because I know a lot of people were still between outposts 1 and 6, so this should hopefully close that gap between those who are really low on the food chain and those who are on the upper end. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of players that will be going into OP9 that still don't even have all of their turrets to level 7. I have maybe 4 turrets that aren't level 7. So I think even in that regard, it's basically allowing everyone to get to, like, that cutoff point of saying, you know, now we're ready to migrate up to the next, you know, up to tier 6 or you know, OP9, which is great. It really closes a lot of gaps. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Does any of the other guys have opinions on that?
Or Ren's our base man. What do you think, mate?
I just wanted to say is, you know, a guy in my alliance asked me today, should I do OP9 first, or should I get caught up on my turrets? And my suggestion for him was, like, do OP9 first, because you get the extra 5 land tiles. Do the OP9 and you get the extra tiles. Then, you know, go to town on your turrets, because you can get them up to speed now real fast, like from level 5 to 6, 6 to 7, right? But I'd still go, even if you're catching up, but you already have OP8, I'd still do OP9 first for the extra land.
Mm-hmm.
About it.
No, I tend to agree, because you're going to get something for nothing. It's in tiles, and they don't cost you to build them, which is nice. And then obviously, you know, with the OP9 and then the warehouses, you can slam the warehouses, which are quite reasonable. I mean, you know, you can do your Forsaken mission, and then obviously get your 2 days worth of build tokens, and you can almost do one every week if you want to do them virtually for free, you know. And then you can focus on the other things, which is nice. So I agree.
Don't forget as well, you can also do the walls at the same time as something's building. So once you've got Outpost 9 done, you can start getting the next 100 walls down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have fun with that. That'll keep you busy.
Yeah, that'll give you plenty to do.
Okay, so I know we're going to discuss more about the when to do what on Saturday. Just wanted to throw this one out there.
Good. Okay. I agree, though. I have to agree with Liam. I think that's probably one of the best things that's going to bring people on in the game, because that's our issue, is the void between alpha and the beta. And that's the people that are starting to the people that are at the top end.
Yeah. So, I mean, now I would say, like...
Go on, Ren. Go first. Ren?
I was just going to say, I think it's going to not only not bring people to the game, but make it so people stay on the game, right? Because once you can get, like, your OP6 and your level 5 turrets and everything, and at that level you can have a level 11 naval lab, and you can research the new conquerors and other kind of stuff. It can actually keep you on the game and keep the game interesting, right?
Keep feeding the bug.
Yeah. Having the conversation the other day, and it's like the progression was very slow, very boring, and I think that addresses this whole issue big time.
Liam, point?
I can't remember what I was going to say now. So I sort of got distracted elsewhere. Sorry.
It'll come back. Okay, so Andrew, next slide, mate.
See the base parts for upgrading quicker. So I think that's a great idea because I gave up building my base because it was taking too fucking long to upgrade my turrets from level 4 to level 5, and I'm still trying to upgrade to level 6. So I think with this, it's going to progress my base quicker in order for me to enjoy the PvP experience to what Kix intends the game to be.
Well, I know personally that my own brother, who's in my alliance with me, he's been hacking around, getting his turrets updated, and driving around, and now all of a sudden he's just gone out and slammed a stack of base parts a day. He's done 4 turrets in one day, so he's well chuffed.
I did actually. I remember what I was going to say as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, like, as we were closing, I was just going to say that it's probably paramount now for players to build a fleet to collect base parts. It's like an absolute must-have now, whereas before it was probably something you didn't have to do, whereas now it's like something you don't have to do, but it's really going to make your life great if you do. So
now, I think just be careful on that, because people may listen to that comment from Leon and just say, okay, I got to build something for base parts right now. Just don't forget we have a raid starting in 9 days. It's a whole store raid, right? So if you don't have the best hull right now, like you have Crusaders, maybe the raid will give you something better than a Crusader for a reasonable amount of points. Or if you don't even have a Crusader, maybe you get that one, Just right. If you don't have them right now, maybe you want to wait another 9 days and see what's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. I don't mean like go out now and like coin it. Don't do a Liam and just coin it. So.
Yeah, don't do a Liam. But the thing is, too, is Siege Raid, since we have it confirmed now that it's Siege coming up, these targets are, all the mines and everything are changing to what we're going to see come January.
Which is nice, because obviously we know that that's obviously not only is it going to go for you soon, we're going to be starting getting base parts and that sort of stuff as well in singular targets, aren't we? So, that's a good deal.
Brian, did you have something to throw to the table?
I mean, it kind of got taken by your point, but this is another reinforcement of a fleet for base parts is really important, and it goes both ways, especially right now. If you've got a good sub fleet, you can start building for the raid and base parts. And if there's anything that I think would help, retention and such, it's that drastically lowering these times and giving players an avenue to kind of grind down those times even further using base parts is fantastic. I could just send something in and get like a quarter of a day off of something on a build. I may or may not be almost done with the 97. That's the last thing. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, good. Excellent. Right. Okay. So here we go. The next update, which I think I like this one as well. Okay, so for the newer sort of like mid-level players, then so we've got some new researchable conqueror hulls. Okay, so we've got the musketeers. Look, go on then, Raikan. Who picked the names?
It was the guy who was designing the ships. He got to pick the names.
All right, you want to ask him some questions. What's his background, hobbies, and what does he like to do? Because he's picked it for a reason. Okay,
so very important question. Is D'Artagnan coming along anytime soon?
I don't know. Maybe as a flagship. Who knows? I have no idea. But,
well, can I say, for 4 years, players have been begging for researchable hulls, and it was answered. They have researchable hulls, and not only are they they're okay hulls, they're fairly decent hulls. So
yeah, we really wanted to get people sort of an introductory kind of hull set for PvP on the lower end, and then that I think these are tier 4, right? Yeah, tier 4. So you'll have these as introductory. It's like, oh, here's the strength weakness models, here's how it sort of works, and then tier 5 starts adding the bloodthirst and all the bells and whistles stuff. So you sort of just gradually escalate your gameplay as you start collecting, right? So as sort of a new player ramping into PvP, this is a really good starting point.
Randy, another point, mate?
Yeah, Raikan, some people on the page were saying that these hulls come with 5-hour repair times and stuff like that. Is that correct?
No, that's a bug, a known bug. It's a display issue. It's supposed to be around an hour or so, but we're aware of it. We're looking into why it's showing 5 hours and stuff. So it'll be fixed. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So now a player can come into the game. He can collect base parts, get his base up together quickly. He can research a few holes, get himself started maybe in the foundry, get himself moving forward. You've kind of created a stepping stone to go from sort of researchable tech to sort of prize tech with these holes. You know, it's kind of it helps close that gap, I guess.
Yep. I mean, if there's any theme going on here, it's about gap closing, right? So that's certainly
it is the theme. It is the theme, without a doubt. I've noticed that yeah, we're basically, this is the glue in the middle to me.
Except for Zoe.
Did you say that the glue in the middle or the glue in the middle?
Next slide, please. Okay, so
Zoe has been with Legion.
Okay, so actually, Ren, take this slide, mate, because this one's yours.
A what? Oh no, that's just I put that on my videos, but now it's kind of too late, right? I mean, every time there's a massive upgrade like that, I mean, I always expect, because that's just how software development goes, and I've been in that industry for years, and I just expect there will be bugs and, you know, clear the browser cache. I didn't start the campaign today because you don't start anything new right after a major release like that. Honestly, that's just me, and anyone who's probably ever worked in software in their lives, and you know. People who started the campaigns right away found bugs, and I mean, in some cases, the bugs were good, like the ability to use base parts on OP9. People took advantage of that. Good for them. A lot of people actually almost insta-upgraded their OP because they were full on base parts.
Who would do that?
No.
Right? So it was a bug for a few hours, and then people got mad because Kixeye pulled the mines out of game until they fixed it, blah, blah, blah. So really? yeah. So, you know,
too late.
Guys, I mean, good that one of the bugs was in our favor, but a lot of people, on the other hand, lost base parts because they tried to start an upgrade while another one was going. Open tickets. Oh, campaign's not working. Open tickets. But honestly, I mean, after this such a big upgrade, just be patient, right? I didn't start anything weird or different today. And the other point is time the shipyard upgrade, right? Because you can't build any ships while it's upgrading, and I think it's like a 7-day upgrade or something like that. So if you can store 2 structured tokens. So if you do your FM, let's say 1 week, and you get 2 structure upgrade tokens, hoard them. Then when it's like Wednesday and next cycle's about to start your shipyard upgrade, apply the 2 tokens, do FM as soon as you can, apply the other 2 tokens, and you shaved 4 days off, so now you only have 3 to go. You know what I mean? Be smart about it, right? And balance the bubble pad. I think someone mentioned that already, so I just said, you know, once you upgrade OP, people will be able to destroy your entire base without the base bubbling. So, you know, until they fire at the OP. So the second most important thing to do is upgrade 1 or 2 warehouses and put them right at the front or something like it, to try to create a bubble pad, although some people will be able to just drive by without killing them, but it helps, right?
Totally.
So that's just it.
Okay, good. Next slide then. So here we go. So this is the latest TLC, which we know, okay, then, look, there's been a massive update. Let's just say it's got a bug at the moment. We've already just said you wouldn't be the wisest man to start a TLC right after such a massive update, but a lot of people get really keen, really excited and that sort of stuff, and they jump into things. I never start in the first 24 hours. I always hold off, okay? That factor's proven out yet again, because obviously it has got, some people are getting quite the way through it, and all of a sudden, bam, they can't get past a certain thing and they're having to time out and let it go past the pay. If it's cost you coins, clearly submit a ticket, that sort of stuff, and the boys will pick it up, and the girls will pick it up online, and they'll assist you, I'm sure, if you're polite and that sort of stuff. So do what you need to do, that sort of stuff. But here's the elite TLC. Obviously, it's great to see Agility System 4 in there. Okay, the Zimp shells, which a lot of people are looking for, and the other 2 prizes, they're okay and that sort of stuff. I still can't work out what to use that Zimp farmer for yet, to be honest. Personally, doesn't suit my need, but it might do as other people's. And a mouse build token. So good news. Next slide, Andrew. Okay, so price pack 2. There we go. Eruption Pyre. That's good to see. And so I'm intrigued. Does anybody know anything more? Has anybody looked into any more about this mortar?
So the next slide.
It's a freaking monster.
Okay, it's a freaking monster. It's on a slide, Andrew, is it?
Yep.
Ridiculous damage.
Next stream.
Okay.
Now,
And fuel
before we
ammunition
go
too.
there, sorry, Mark, before we go there, I was just going to say, for people, even if people cannot do all the price packs, but a lot of people were asking me after I published a video about long-range turrets, and I used the specials there to do the calculation. So one special that I used in many turrets was the xinthium shells on price pack 1. But a lot of people don't have it because they're on dubs and they come in fragments, and it takes forever to get them. So here's a chance of you getting it like right off the bat by doing price pack 1. So I would strongly recommend people do that one and get xinthium shells for their APOCs, for their cold snaps, frostbites, and whatnot. That's
Cool.
it.
Okie dokie. Right, so Andrew said there's a bit more coming about that particular. Here we go. Okay, so we'll just give people a chance to look at the statistics themselves. And I know he likes this sort of stuff. So Stu, if you're there, mate, what's your thoughts on this motor?
It's an animal, but I think Ren pointed out earlier before the show started that it does have a really big blind spot. So you do have to be very careful where you're placing this turret. I haven't looked completely at the stats now. I am right now, but the damage is absolutely insane. Like, I mean, if you're trying to park Vendettas on the outside of the base, as Ren also brought up earlier, it can really harass them now. So that's great. I mean, most of the mortars that we've always had have been quite short on the range sort of side, haven't they? What was the APOC? 140? I think it was 140.
Yeah, it just gets the outside of your base plus a little bit,
You've got
doesn't
the
it?
Deadeye with 199 range plus upgrades. You know, you've got stuff like that. But the mortars were always short on range. But this kind of adds that new area to your game. But I mean, there's 150 on the blind spot there, so you've really got to be careful where you're placing it.
I'm
Yeah,
loving
I
the
mean-
radioactive damage. Radioactive damage is great. I like that.
Yeah, and again, right, think that this will be buffed. I mean, I'm just going to be very simple here, right? You put an AT transformer on that turret, and I don't know if it's going to fit because the power requirement there is 8600, so of course you need a level 8 turret to fit that in. I don't know what's the max power on the level 8 turret. I don't know if I haven't seen it.
Guys, just a
Raikan,
quick
Yeah, go on in.
Just a quick update from Laredo in the YouTube chat. There's an update from the BP team. The Malevolence Elite PP1 to 7 battle issue has been resolved at this time. Refresh your game for this to take effect.
Super.
Okay.
Great news.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good,
thanks for
good.
the update,
So back to the question here, Raikan, do you know what's the max power on level 8 turret?
I don't know it off the top of my head. I can try to
Okay.
look it up. Though for
If you can, please. So anyway, but let's just keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
8600 there, power. But if you can fit an AT transformer, 35% buff, you get the total damage from this turret when you add up explosive, and red is 30,000. You add 35%. You're adding roughly 10,000 more, so now it's 40,000. The total damage, right? So it's a monster. I mean, you can probably kill if you stack vendettas outside of the rim and leave them there without moving. This guy can probably kill them all in 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think so. It's only split
Also-
across 3 salvos, isn't it, as well? So that's good.
Also, you know,
So you divide the 24,000, you divide by 3, and the 6,000 by 3. So it's going to be 8,000 explosive, 2,000 radioactive, plus buffs and bonuses per fireball.
Yeah, that's good. Liam, go on.
I still like this idea of actually putting a turret outside your base, on the water. And this turret is perfect for it. Actually, in the corner of your base, this turret, or just on the outside of your base. Just think about it. You know, this turret would be perfect for it.
Yeah, I think this turret too is just sort of a taste of the strength of what Outpost 9 is going to become eventually, right? Because it's the first sort of escalation in turrets into what we define as like tier 6 level strength in terms of a base. So I'm pretty excited about sort of where that's going to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
now,
go on, mate.
I was just going to say the one thing to look for though is like I want a clarification on that. It says it has a field of effect there. Is the field of effect related to the MIRV, the MIRV, or is that for the original salvos?
I'm pretty sure it's for the original salvos would be my guess.
Because that, just so you guys see there, it resonance trigger, yes. So I mean, any ships, like if your vendettas have battery, for instance, it will give them extra bonuses, right? Or any other, like your retribution have good resistance, and it's going to trigger their extra bonuses if they're equipped with resonance capacitor, right? So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but a good start, I think, into the next level of components. I like it for the base. That's good. Okay, Andrew, next slide, mate, please.
And I'm close to getting this final number here for Ren that he was asking about the max power for the defense platform.
Super.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. It should be. I got it right here. Hang on.
Okay.
Just give me like 2 seconds. 16,310.
Oh, so easily we can easily fit the AT transformer and a few other buffs. Cool. Thank you. 16,000. The turret uses half of that. Awesome.
That sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, because there's a third plate you can put on it, isn't it, as well? So that's good.
No, a third special. We can now use
A third
three
special,
specials.
sorry. Yeah, which is interesting. So here we go. Fuel air munitions, obviously, which fits nicely with obviously that as well. So this is a nice special as well. Quite like this
but
one
that's
there,
just keep in mind that's a tactical module, right? That's not a special that goes on the turret. That goes in the buildings nearby and has a field, and that's going to buff the turrets.
But that turret generally,
Another 20%.
that turret's going to go into your center island. You wouldn't really want to put it anywhere else because of the inner field effect, so the range. Sorry, so
well, Liam wants to put on the outside of the base. I mean,
Look, you might think I'm a crazy guy. Okay?
I know why. I get why.
I got a feeling about something. All right,
It must be annoying. Yeah, I can see it. Take out those turrets, or they're going to take out you, and he's just going to leave the rest of them at level 7, those at level 8, and then he's got a bubble, so you've got no choice to go and get him. So I get that. I see the plan.
yeah, it's a good plan.
Yeah, it's also goddamn annoying, but there we go. Okay, next slide. Whoa, here we go. So bug fixing and tuning. Brian, take it away.
Fixed an issue where the Blitz not available pop-up shown after combat when the Blitz conditions are not met would prevent the standard post-combat pop-up from appearing. So yay all the screens. Not yet. Wait till tomorrow, except it would be fixed. Players will no longer be able to activate the rocket launch UI by pressing the R hotkey during an NPC-based defense encounter, such as in the Malevolence and Dragon Strike campaigns. Whoops.
Boo.
Adjusted the maximum wall capacities allowed per outpost level to match the expected progression. Previously, the capacities were off by 1, resulting in the capacity intended for outpost level 2 being granted for having outpost level 1, and so on. Okay.
Didn't know there was an issue with that. Go on.
Adjusted time to build and time to repair on several buildings.
Yeah,
we will have that in great detail later.
Mm-hmm. We've clearly got some ongoings, haven't we?
Yeah, they're looking at the bug about using base parts to upgrade OP9 and related buildings. It's not intended.
But don't rush.
Yeah, don't rush.
It's not intended. I don't know anyone that's exploited it. But.
Not at all.
Really. If you have a turret upgrading and try and upgrade your outpost, it will take the base parts and the upgrade will not start being investigated.
Okay. And the last point on that one there is now not relevant because as we heard from Laredo, obviously that's been squared away. So in other words, it's fixed. Sorry, squared away. Good English term there. Okay. It's sorted. So that one's not an issue. So that's bug fixes and tuning. Okay. Quite content with that then. Move on, Andrew, then.
So there is more slides, but it's the other times that have changed from the buildings. There's more of them.
George, if you wouldn't mind, mate, would you like to take this slide and I would like some thoughts on yours? I know you go into things quite in depth when we do the blog. So your thoughts on this one, mate?
Yeah, a lot of stuff's going down. There it is. We got 3. How many pages of this do we have? We have a lot of pages of this. A lot of the stuff went down.
There's a lot of them.
I have to say quickly then, these slides are here because obviously when we put the PDF up, and so people just have it all in one place, clearly then we'll put the PDF up on the page. You can download the PDF at your own leisure, and then you get to go, oh, what was that again? So then you whack, that's it. All of a sudden you get the chance then to look at it all in one concise document rather than going...
What I want to highlight is just so people see the compound effect of being able to use base parts for that, plus the reduction. I mean, look at like a level 6 turret. Before, even with base parts, you'd say, oh, I got to be out there hitting a ton of mines to get enough base parts to get a turret to level 6. Well, not anymore. I think it's like 10 hours for level 6 turret. You know, you probably hit one level 70 or 80 mine or 2, and you have enough to get that done.
Yeah,
so keep that in mind. It's like you put the two of them together. It's massive. It's huge. You can get it all done instantly, right?
Huge.
Yep. I mean, I mean, the TLDR of that entire thing is it's faster to upgrade now. Yay.
Yeah. So just let everybody know then on the obviously I mean we're sort of 10 minutes to go yet, and we can expand on some few points in a minute. But for those that wish to download the pack, obviously the last 7 slides then are all about those reduction times and that sort of stuff, and it's based against obviously remember one base part 1 second, that sort of stuff, and you're going to have some fun. Okay, Liam, back to you, mate.
I'm so surprised that we got through all those slides in 51 minutes. So well done, guys. Well
You
done.
underestimate the power of the dark side.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did have so much to cover, and I know that maybe there's some people watching that might have wanted us to go into more depth about some things that we didn't. But there's always the page. There's always the page in the forums. There's always the website. We can talk and discuss things more there.
There's also Ren's video that he's done.
Ren did
Ren's
a really good video, which Kixeye put in the post, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out there. But I don't know. I kind of feel like at the moment, I don't know. I haven't really sat down and sifted through the forums, but I kind of feel like it's quite well received at the moment. OP9 at the moment.
I think it's just come at the right time. I think that's the point. People were expecting it. I think we're just about ready for it. I mean, 2 or 3 of us were saying in the last couple of weeks that we've just finished our last level 7 turrets, and we're sort of rating. And then we're sort of like, do you know what? Okay, for the coiners amongst us, we're like, yeah, I could do another fleet, but I really don't need one. I've got everything I need to do what I want to do and that sort of stuff, And I'll be honest, I haven't spent a penny on this aspect of the game. I'm a coiner, and and I am at all in the last month and a half. But I've been doing it in the other aspect, the mega hull aspect instead. So I'm ready for this. I think it's just come at the right time.
And if you started the upgrade today without an officer, it would be done for Christmas Eve. There you go.
Really?
Christmas present. Yeah, exactly.
To yourself?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
I know that, but
So I just wanted to, I think I wanted to thank the Rooster and Raikan for giving me access to the images and information there, so I could record the video ahead of time. And George has a nice blog about it too. It's posted there, the Forsaken Cove, covering OP9. But I think above everything, all the level 50 guys there who were pissed off because once you hit level 50, you become a farm. I'm not saying you're not going to be a farm, but at least now you can have level 6, 7 turrets and OP7 real fast and get caught up. Maybe you're still going to be missing some defender ships, but who knows? Maybe the raid now is a good time to catch up on that aspect as well if they're offered. But by the way, Raikan, any chances, any comments on anything that's going to be in the prize list that you can share right now? Like some of the turrets we haven't seen in a while, some defender holes. Is that going to be in the mix?
We're still curating the list at the moment, so I can't give you specifics. I know we've been looking at things for the siege cycle, hey, here's things for that, right? We've definitely been discussing some turret options potentially, but everything's subject to change at this time. We're still curating the list.
Right. Here's a question.
Yeah, I think some turret options and some defender holes would go well along with this update. Just saying. Andrew?
I was going to say it's been mentioned quite a few times within our page. For raids, you've got your standard raids with your either column, and then in December and middle of September you get a whole raid. Is there any chance that having your Christmas raid is the whole raid, and around about mid-September time you have a component raid? It's just so the lower levels can actually catch up.
Sure. So I sort of want to, let's see, how do I put this? So we have sort of internally not really called it a hull store anymore per se. What we do is we release the hulls, the weapons, the specials, all the components that you're asking for. We now do it in one lump store at the end of a cycle, right? So that's sort of how we're handling it, just so that we don't have to deviate too much from the consistency of what we've been providing. But you should be able, that's where you'll be able to get some of the things that you need desperately in order to perform well in the next cycle and other aspects of the PvE and PvP game. So
we should rename it from Whole Store to Superstore.
Yep, Superstore, Raid Store, whatever you want to call
Just
it.
don't call it a mega store, all right?
If you call it that, I'm not doing it. All right.
Stu, it's a mega store just for you, bud.
Yep,
Ah,
there it is.
crap.
Yeah,
I
could you
mean,
put
in
some
that
fragments in there for Stu? Maybe.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He obviously needs them.
in that vein,
Just
I'd
give me
actually,
120. Look, no one's looking. Come on.
Just go to the black market, man. Just like right under the table.
So
taking
I think,
10 away from him.
yeah, guys. So we've got about 5 minutes left, and if you don't mind, I just might just it's a huge update. There's quite a lot, and it's quite complex and that sort of stuff, which we need to obviously, basically assimilate all the information ourselves, and we'll have a really good open mic on Saturday and that sort of stuff. But just across the board, and I'll start sort of like with Andrew, Liam, if you don't mind, mate. I just want like your top. What did you like out of today's update, Andrew? You first, mate.
So being able to upgrade my buildings a hell of a lot faster.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, upgrade buildings faster, and you can use base parts for any buildings up to the next to best OP. It's great.
Okay, George, mate.
I love the fact that we can use the base parts now. It gives another avenue for people to upgrade real quick, catch up on everything, and I actually like the fact that they're listening. I mean, this is just clear evidence that they're paying attention to what the players are asking for.
Cool. Ren, mate.
Ren.
Oh, sorry, am I next? Okay, I was going by the order down here, the faces. Okay, never mind. I'm getting old. So yeah, I like the whole thing about like low levels being able to catch up real fast. I like having tier 4 conquerors there for research. The one thing I like to ask, because we're never satisfied, right? It's just because of that having the outposts and having some other buildings upgraded where your base is totally vulnerable and won't bubble. I would really love to see, if not this week, next week, or sometime before raid, some TLC or something giving big structure update tokens or something like that. Just enough for maybe to do 2 warehouses or something to rebalance the bubble in the base. You know what I mean?
A few turrets.
Okay, there's a nod of acknowledgement there, but we'll see what comes. Okay,
Yeah.
Stu?
Well, I do agree with most of you what you've said about the base parts and all that, but I think the artwork needs a special mention. I mean, I looked at the Scourge one, and the first thing I thought when I saw it, I don't know how many people have played the game Command & Conquer, but Skrin from Command & Conquer, and it took me right back to my childhood. Absolutely amazing. The artwork on all of them just looks outstanding. I literally cannot believe how nice everything sort of looks. I mean, even the land tiles on the Draconian, they look just so polished and new.
Even Stewie, even looking at your base from the world map view is exceptional. Where you see the outpost sticking out in the middle of the island is just.
I know it kind of like freshens the game up in that sort of sense. I mean, because everything was kind of like old. Oh, we're used to that. Upgrade the outpost. Oh, it still looks the same. But now everything feels like it almost feels like a fresh new game. Like I wouldn't say it's completely new, but the whole new artwork implemented in that, it feels so much nicer and smoother.
A lick of paint goes a long way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I think that was my thing too, because I really pushed for the tile thing, because I was like, I want to see different tiles now, right? Because
Thank you. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is.
Yeah.
Like I know it's something quite small, like if you think about it compared to everything else that's come out with it, but it's the small things that really do, kind of add up. Like Liam just said, a lick of paint goes a long way.
Stu, you're still not getting the base part. I mean, the little pieces for the megabits.
Really? Come on, that
No.
was awesome.
Sorry, that was a good try.
Okay, so it's all good. And do you know what? I just thought an extra point there. It's quite interesting. So you'll be sailing around, you'll be picking your targets, that sort of stuff. You go, oh, yeah, I'm quite happy. I mean, me personally, I don't generally, try to hit below level 90 unless somebody's really annoying me and that sort of stuff. It's got a huge mega ship and comes and splats me and he's only level 85. Then I'm just going to splat him back. But in general terms, a new dynamic now. So you're going to go and hit, let's just say, a level 90. He's got 5 little options now, hasn't he? He's got 5 options then. He can be a level 90 Skirts, a level 90 Draconian, a level 90 this. So you've got more things to consider. Yes, it's giving you a hint of what's maybe inside the base. Think about that for Megas, Raikan, please. Okay, you've got a thought plan now. You can think about what's potentially in that base based on what he has got showing up on the outside for his OP. Okay? Please put that through the rest of the game. But then, it's what else has he got in there? So what's his ship? You still don't know that. You still need to peek and that sort of stuff. But it gives you a little bit of an extra dimension, and I like that. And I have to say. And then the second thing for me is the artwork is stunning. I have to say. I've said it 3 times in the night, but it is. It's really impressive. That's me done.
Well, I would say, for me, I would say that the best thing out of the whole lot, and it's hard to pinpoint that it is the best thing, because everything that you guys have mentioned is amazing, and the artwork, everything. I can't believe there's researchable holes in there as well. Regardless of what holes they are, it's just something that we went on about for so long. Upgrade to shipyard, reduction in reaver tech. I mean, there's just so many different things you could point at as being a highlight. But for me, the one thing that stands out above anything else is the base part thing. And I still almost think that I'm going to pinch myself and wake up from it. But it's like this year we've seen so many changes to the game. Like we've seen the reduction in, when we've seen the PvE PvP divide, we've seen PvP ships drop to 10-day builds as opposed to 25-day builds. Unreal. Tokens everywhere, reducing build times across the board. Unreal. Repair times dropping to 1 hour whole. Unreal. I mean, it's just all this stuff. And then here we are at the end of the year, and now we can build everything with a collectible resource, which transfers to time. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know what other way to put that. So, that for me just changes the game so much in terms of bringing in the new blood. It's just absolutely, absolutely amazing.
So, what I like to see come back into the game? Well, it is still kind of in the game, but it's not. See how that's when the Draconian bases first came available to attack, and you could co-op with your friends and alliance mates, but you had to do it together. So you can't do that anymore because the ships are outpowering the actual platforms itself. Can we get another sort of Draconian or even a Reaver base sort of thing that you have to co-op in order to complete it? But back then,
yeah. So you want to be able to let me clarify. So you want like a co-opable experience fighting Draconian or Reaver base, or at minimum like co-op experience. Yeah. I assume that's your question.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something I would like to pursue more. Is just more co-op type things on the map. I know the FM you can technically co-op. And I think the raid targets, B and C sets, you can co-op those. The dubs you can co-op. So I think like we need to do maybe some updates or look at some stuff, but having more co-op things. Is there anything in particular that like makes your particular reference stand out compared to like modern co-op stuff?
Well, is it the modern co-op stuff here? You can actually do yourself, so you don't really need to co-op in order to complete it. Whereas when the Draconian bases initially came out, you had to team up. You had to work together and you attack to kill it sort of thing.
Are you referring to the Draconian bases on the map, Andrew, or are you referring to like the old school Base Invader raid where we had 4-player Draconian bases?
The Draconian bases on the map when they first became available to attack. You had to team up. You had to communicate to come up with a plan to defeat that said Draconian base.
Mm-hmm. It's good. So for me personally, I'm thinking, and then obviously sort of subsector bases. So I'm thinking the dubs, when the center core comes alive and that sort of stuff, I think that then should turn it back into it doesn't have to be an alliance effort, but a team effort. It takes a team effort to do that. Maybe distract something by somebody else sneaking in and doing something else and that sort of stuff. It's not just a case of it takes tons of ships to do it, but if someone could be the decoy and then something comes in that you can go, right, I've distracted him, off you go. It just brings that chat alive and it brings that experience back in that we have been missing for a couple of years, I have to say.
I think we had a lot of fun in the Borbas raid cycle. There were some boss targets, if you guys remember, where we could go in like, I think 3 or 4 players. Mm-hmm. Retreat, right? You win or you die, and that was really cool.
But I mean, that kind of co-op experience is already been implemented in the game. It just might have been implemented in the game in an experience that not everyone wants to do, and that's in the mega holes. I mean, that is a co-op experience there.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I've got a couple of my boys now are doing that now, and they regularly go every evening now, and I always see them they're on my alley chat, and they're sort of, right, yeah, that one over there, right, you bring this, you bring that, I'm going to do this, and that sort of stuff. And they're having a great time. In fact, they've almost gone away from the base aspect. They're like, yeah, kill my base, I don't care. They're now into the mega hull piece, and it's transformed their game. It has honestly transformed their game, you know. So they're into that piece, but it would be. I think we can bring that other piece back in. And Liam, one last thing quickly from the chat. The most important thing that people want now, we've got the factions in Raikan, and I know you want to do it. Sort the crews out, mate, please. Okay, they are so freaking annoying, and most of them are pointless. And
I can't disagree with you, so I'm not going to.
It's the only thing that I'm pissed about is for this update. I was hoping it was coming, and it hasn't.
No promises, Raikan, but are you guys looking at the crews, like any consideration?
I mean, we're definitely reviewing the crews at the moment. Now, whether or not we act on it, that's another thing. But I know there's like some that I don't want in the game. There's some that are just straight out worthless. And then there's things that we're like, oh, this would probably be very, very useful. And we're like, we should probably make those. So we're just seeing sort of, 1, do we have the resources to do it? 2, does it make sense? And, 3, can we get it to you guys in a reasonable amount of time? So.
And are we going to have the double titanium crew, aka double tits?
Oh,
Only works for Drax.
A crew that helps you get more titanium would not be out of the question.
There you go.
Well, Raikan, I just wanted to say again, thanks for coming on the show tonight, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk with us and run through some of the updates. Is there anything you wanted to throw in there, bud? I don't know if is there any stuff we didn't cover, or something you wanted to give a shout out to, or?
Shout out to the team for making Outpost 9 happen, because that was a huge undertaking. So absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm here for you guys. I'm just here to answer your guys' questions. I don't have too much to announce outside of the reminder that the Siege is the next cycle. So make sure you're ready for that. Should be pretty exciting. So can't wait.
Thank you.
Question, if I may, I know we're on time, but just Raikan, do you guys have anything with UAVs coming back? Ships? It's been a while. We've been through the whole cycle, and no new UAV.
I don't know for sure, but I mean, admittedly, we're aware of the weapon choices that we picked and what ones we haven't used, and we're taking those into consideration moving forward.
Cool.
Flame Dancer UAV coming soon, is what we're saying.
Yep, and when you countermeasure it, it merges into mortars, and when you countermeasure those, it merges back into UAVs, right? Yep.
Something like that, yeah, something like that.
Yep,
yeah.
Got it. Yep, April 1st, promise.
No,
Can we call them
remember
Transformer UAVs?
All right, okay. Well, I thought OP10 was coming on April 1st.
No, that's the dry dock.
Yeah, that's the dry dock. Yep.
Oh, dry dock. Dry dock. Yeah,
of course.
Okay, before we derail, then, guys, I guess we're going to close the show there. That was unbelievable that we got through all that in an hour. Guys, thanks to all of you who've been on the show tonight. You've all done a fantastic job. Raikan, thanks again, buddy, for coming on. And Kixeye, well done on OP9. I'm sure we can all agree, guys. It's been a great update.
So I do have one problem.
Yep.
Oh, God.
I mean, I saw the Reaver pop up, and I thought, well, where's my Reaver attack dogs? Come on, Raikan, what the hell?
April 1st, man. I told you last time.
Oh, all right, I'll wait.
You'll get that when you build Mega Hull.
Stu's needy, I'm telling you.
He's a needy guy. I'm beginning to discover that about him.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, but you will love me anyway. So what's the problem?
Okay, guys. Well, listen. Saturday's show, we're going to really go into OP9 even more. We're going to expand on it as we're going to talk about maybe the direction you should go in, what you should upgrade first, and what we found so far in some of the updates and stuff. So do tune into the open mic on Saturday and enjoy BP, and we'll see you then. Thanks everyone for coming out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.